In accounting, every number tells a story, and it all starts with a 9-step accounting cycle, the analysis of business transactions, and a tool called the accounting equation. Accountants need to be quite organized, and just like you organize yourself when solving a puzzle, like sorting the corners, outer and center pieces, perhaps even by color, accountants use a step-by-step process called the 9-step accounting cycle to complete all accounting work from beginning to end. The accounting cycle ensures businesses accurately record and summarize their financial activities so that the financial story the company is trying to tell makes sense. It all begins with step 1, analyzing business transactions. And speaking of business transactions, are you wondering what counts as a business transaction? It is any financial event that impacts the company's resources. That's important. Not every business event is recorded in accounting. There are specific requirements. We only record transactions that can be measured in US dollars and those that change the resources or financial interest of the business. Said another way, we record only those transactions that change what the company owns, what it owes, what it earns, and what it spends. And that's what you'll learn. Determine if a business transaction is worthy of being recorded by the accountant and how to record it in the financial records of the company. We'll start slow, and at the beginning of our analysis, we will use a simplified version of the fundamental accounting equation. Property equals financial interest. The simplified accounting equation basically states that the property of the company is equal to the financial interest in the business. First, though, let's clarify what is property and what is financial interest. Property includes things like cash, equipment, supplies, building, land, prepaid expenses, monies owed by customers called accounts receivable, and inventory. In short, property that the company owns. Financial interests and obligations are monies owed by the business to either third parties, such as monies owed to suppliers called accounts payable, bank loans, notes payable, monies received in advance from customers, but also monies owed to the owners of the business. In short, financial interest is what the company owes. When accountants record transactions, they might impact both the property and the financial interest, meaning that both sides increase or decrease, whereas other transactions might increase one property category and decrease another property category. Where yet another transaction might increase one financial interest category and decrease another financial interest category. There are lots of possibilities. After every transaction, though, the equation must still be true. Property equals financial interest. Most students learn accounting concepts best with step-by-step examples. We'll use the case study of Eli's Consulting Services. Let me tell you a little bit about Eli and his business. Eli's Consulting is a service business and provides a wide range of accounting and consulting services. The owner of the business is Drayton Eli, who is a CPA and has a master's in accounting. The business also has an office manager, Sergio Sanchez. The office manager has an associate's degree in business and has taken 12 semester hours of accounting. Every month, Eli's Consulting Services bills clients for the accounting and consulting services provided that month. And customers can pay in cash when the services are rendered or receive credit. You'll learn more about that later. Most businesses need startup capital to pay the initial expenses of the business before customers start paying for the services. To start his business, Drayton took money from his personal checking account of $100,000 and opened a checking account in the name of Eli's Consulting Services. Why do you think Drayton opened a new checking account? Well, that the separate bank account helps Eli keep his financial interest in the business separate from his personal funds. The $100,000 transaction is the very first business transaction, and we need to figure out what to do with it and identify how it affects the equation property equals financial interest. Are you ready to record the first business transaction for Eli's Consulting? Just remember that not every business event is recorded. For instance, if the marketing team creates a new marketing campaign, the accounting team probably wants to know about it, but that would be a business event that is not yet recorded. Why? We only record transactions that can be measured in US dollars and change the resources and financial interest of the organization. There is an additional requirement, which is that you need supporting documentation, meaning proof for every transaction. But let's start with the basics. There are two major steps to analyzing the business transactions. First, we describe the financial event by identifying whether property or the financial interest increased or decreased. Well, the company now has more cash in the new business checking account, and the company now owes money to Trade and Eli. That means that property increased and the financial interest side increased as well. To record this transaction, we'll add the category cash to the property side and the capital account for Trade and Eli to the financial interest side. That helps us keep things organized. So let's enter the transaction of $100,000 into our table in each one of these categories and calculate the new balance. The second step is to make sure the equation is still in balance. Let's double check that. $100,000 in property equals the $100,000 in financial interest. And we did it. It balances, and we analyzed our first business transaction for Eli's Consulting. So the next time you want to record the business transaction for when the owner of the business invests money into the business, you know to increase cash and to increase capital, and that the equation must balance afterwards. And this is where the financial storytelling comes into play. If someone told you the cash account increased by $100,000 and the capital account increased by $100,000, you know that the business owner invested money into the business by giving cash to the business. That was a lot of information, wasn't it? Let's keep on practicing and it will feel more familiar. In the second business transaction, Eli's Consulting issued a $5,000 check to purchase a computer and other equipment. That makes sense, right? He needs the right equipment to service customers. So let's analyze it. The firm purchased new property, the equipment, and at the same time, the company now has less cash. And cash is also a property of the business. So equipment increased and cash decreased. To record this transaction and to keep things organized, we'll add another category on the property side for equipment and write plus $5,000 in the equipment column to show that we have more equipment, and write minus $5,000 into the cash column to show that we now have less cash. Does our equation still balance? Well, let's calculate our new balance. $95,000 in cash and $5,000 in equipment equals a total of $100,000 in property. And the financial interest side shows $100,000 as well. So, does it balance? Yes, it does. For our third transaction, we have the following business event. Eli's Consulting purchased office equipment on account from Office Plus for $6,000. So let me explain first what it means by on account or on credit. It means that you don't pay the full amount right now. It means that you promise to pay the amount at a specific date in the future. As accountants, it's important that we keep track of the amount owed. So let's analyze the transaction so that we can record it. Eli's Consulting purchased new property the equipment for $6,000, which means that the property side of the equation increased. That's part one of the analysis. Let's look at part two. Eli's Consulting now owes $6,000 to Office Plus, which means that the financial interest side of the equation increased. We'll add another category for accounts payable on the financial interest side and write plus $6,000 in the accounts payable column and write plus $6,000 into the equipment column. Let's calculate our new balance. $95,000 in cash and $11,000 in equipment equals a total of $106,000 in property. And the financial interest side shows accounts payable of $6,000 and capital of $100,000 for a total of $106,000 of financial interest. So do both sides of the equation balance? Yes, they do. Let's look at the fourth transaction. Eli's Consulting Services issued a check for $1,500 to Office Deluxe Inc. to purchase office supplies. So let's analyze this business event. The company now has more office supplies. Office supplies is something the company owns, meaning property. So an increase to the property side of the equation. And the company's cash decreased because Eli's Consulting issued a check. So let's write that into our table. We'll add an additional column for supplies to keep things organized and separate and add $1,500 in that column. And for the second part of this transaction, we'll write minus $1,500 into the cash column. The new cash balance is now $93,500, and when we add up all the property accounts, cash, supplies, and equipment, the sum is $106,000, which is the same total amount for the financial interest accounts. Can you believe it? The equation still balances. Let's continue with the fifth transaction. The office manager, Sanchez, pays $2,500 to Office Plus to reduce the firm's debt. This related to our third transaction when Eli's Consulting bought computer equipment on account from Office Plus for $6,000. When we analyzed that original transaction, we increased computer equipment and we increased accounts payable. Now that Sanchez pays part of the $6,000 that Eli's Consulting owes Office Plus, we need to figure out what to do with this business event. First, we need to reduce the accounts payable account because Eli's Consulting now owes less money to Office Plus. And for the second part of this transaction, we need to reduce the cash account because Eli's Consulting now has less cash. So we deduct $2,500 from cash, and we deduct $2,500 from accounts payable. What do we do next? That's right. Let's check that our equation still balances. We add up $91,000 for cash, $1,500 for supplies, and $11,000 for equipment for a total of $103,500. And on the financial interest side of the equation, we also have $103,500. So our equation is still in balance. The sixth transaction occurs when Eli's Consulting rents office space. The landlord required that rent for the first 2 months, December and January, for a total of $8,000 be paid in advance. That's not uncommon. Quite often, commercial property landlords will want a deposit and several months of rent paid in advance. Now, there are special accounting rules when it comes to expenses that are paid in advance. In accounting, this prepayment is considered a form of property because the business could get a refund potentially if it did not use the facilities the entire time. So what do we need to do when Eli's Consulting issues a check for $8,000 for rent for the month of December and January? Let's break that into part 1 and 2. First, the business now has a new property account called prepaid rent. So prepaid rent, the property account, increased. And the company's cash account decreased again. To record this transaction, we'll add a new account prepaid rent to the property side of our equation and add $8,000 in that column. We need to also reduce cash by $8,000, so let's write minus $8,000 into the cash column. And let's double check that our equation still balances. Cash, supplies, prepaid rent, and equipment total $103,500. And so does the financial interest side of the equation, which means that we still balance. The table we've been using provides us with a lot of information already, and it's really interesting that these numbers already tell a financial story about this business, such as how much cash is available, how much the company owns in terms of supplies, prepaid rent, and equipment, and how much the company owes to others. We've only recorded 6 transactions, so it's still fairly easy to have a good overview of the amounts. However, you can probably tell that recording thousands of transactions and providing that information to internal and external users may not be really helpful. That's where financial statements come into play. Financial statements are prepared by accountants in a standardized format to summarize the accounting transactions so that the company's financial story is much easier to understand. One of our first financial statements is the balance sheet, and we have all the information that we need in our table that we prepared. We start by preparing the header of the report, which shows the name of the business, Eli's Consulting Services, the type of report, balance sheet, and the date for the report, in this case, November 30th. The balance sheet is very similar to the table we prepared. On the left side of the balance sheet, we list all property accounts in the column called Assets. Assets is the standard word used to describe the property the company owns. On the other side of the balance sheet, we show the financial interest of the business and split it between the money owed to third parties, we call that liabilities, and monies owed to the owners, called owner's equity. In our example, Eli's Consulting Services prepared the balance sheet as of November 30th. On the asset side, we list the property of Eli's Consulting, cash $83,000, supplies $1,500, prepaid rent $8,000, and equipment of $11,000 for a total of $103,500 in total assets. On the other side, the financial interest side, we have liabilities of $3,500 and owner's equity for $100,000 for a total of $103,500. And the balance sheet balances because it shows total assets of $103,500. And on the other side, the financial interest side, it shows liabilities to external vendors of $3,500 and the monies owed to the owners, called owner's equity, of $100,000 for a total of $103,500. And that, voila, brings us to what we call the balance sheet or the fundamental accounting equation. Assets equals liabilities plus owner's equity. Want to analyze more business transactions for Eli's Consulting with the help of the accounting equation? Go ahead and watch part 2.